This is Jess. Jess is a party-coloured toy poodle, and she's got much longer fur than would be very apparent at the moment. So I'm going to show you how to brush out long fur on a dog with a longer coat. The tools I'm going to use are a pin brush like this, and I'm then going to be going in with a comb, first with the wide comb and then with the narrow comb. Most people would start off by grabbing the brush like that and taking the brush to the dog and starting at the top and dragging it through the coat that way. And that's wrong. It's wrong for several reasons. Number one, you're going to be ripping the hair, which you don't want to be doing. And number two, most of the tangles are going to be down here in the feet. So you need to get the feet clear first and then work your way up the dog. And that process is called line brushing. So I'm going to start off with just the tip of her paw. I'm going to put some fingers behind the brush and hold onto the brush with my thumb so that I can gently direct the bristles where I need them to be. And I'm going to brush the bottom of the foot. Sweetie. Like most toy poodles, she's not massively impressed with having her feet touched. And then I'm going to start working my way up the leg. So I'm going in underneath all of that long fur, and I am pulling the tangles out as I go. And she's got relatively short legs, so I've done it in about 4 different steps, from the paw to the middle, halfway up, and then to the top before I start pulling the fur all the way through. Well, once you have got to the stage where the brush is now sounding like there aren't any tangles, there might be a few still at the back there, it's time to go in and check what you've brushed with a comb. You're not going to pull tangles out with a comb, you're going to just check. So anywhere that the comb doesn't go through, you would go back and rebrush. There's a little tangle in there, so let's go in with the brush again. And using the wider bit, oh, that's determined, that little one. Let's find it with the comb. So this knot won't comb out, so I'm going to cut it out. And to do that, I'm going to use a little pair of thinning scissors, and I cut above the knot, in the middle of the knot, and just underneath the knot. So 3 little cuts, and there you go. It brushes out but doesn't leave a giant hole in the coat. And there's the offending little knot. There we go. And it now combs through beautifully. So you need to do that all over the dog. And once you have combed through with the big comb, and that's going through beautifully, then you can go through with the little comb on the other side and just lift the coat out if it's a poodle and just fluff it up. Like that. And you can see how much coat she actually does have if you compare one leg to the other. Look at the density there of fur. But that's what we need to do with a long-coated dog. And sadly, for those people who don't like brushing very much, this has to be done every day. There is no cheap way of keeping a dog looking lovely. You have to brush it on a daily basis if it's got a long coat. If you have long hair yourself, you'll understand that. You wouldn't dream of not brushing your hair for 3 or 4 days and then having to rake through it with tangles. With a long coated dog, you're going to have to get your brush out and do it every single night. So you must really quite like grooming your dog and make it a nice and enjoyable process for the dog. always have a treat for the dog at the end of it, so that when they see the brushes and the combs coming out, they don't run, because you're not going to hurt them anymore, because you're going to be able to find those knots with a comb, and you know you're not going to rip them out, you're going to cut them out gently, and then brush the dog over again, and then give a dog a treat at the end of it, and you should end up with a dog that just enjoys the whole process and comes to you for grooming.